you first look at a tire, you're going to see a lot of numbers and a lot of letters, and it's going to look very confusing. But today, I'm going to show you exactly what each one of them means. So let's get to it. Alright, let's start with this cluster here. Sometimes at the beginning or the end of this cluster is going to be a letter, and in the United States, most of them will be a P. And P just stands for P-metric. P-metric pretty much means it's made for a passenger vehicle. If it's not a P, sometimes there'll be an LT, which stands for light truck. If there's no letter at all, then it usually means it's a Eurometric tire. And the only difference between Eurometric and P-metric tires are sometimes in some tires, the P-metric has a lower load rating than the Eurometric. And we'll get to load rating in a second. So this first big number here is pretty much just going to be your width in millimeters from your one sidewall to the other sidewall. So in this case, it's 265 millimeters. So this next number here is going to be called the aspect ratio, which is the ratio of your cross section of your tire to the width of the tire. So with this one, for example, it's 70. So that means the height is 70% of the width of the tire. So that means the bigger the ratio, the bigger the sidewall will be. So next will be the R, and the R just means radial, which means the layers will be run radially across the tire. So the next number after the R will be your rim size, as in this case, it will be 17 inches. Then, usually next to that cluster will be another number and another letter. Your first number will be the load rating, or how much weight the tires will be able to hold when they're fully inflated. So mine is a 115, so I'll put a chart down below, and it'll take you to a page that tells you what your number stands for. You'll just find your number, and then across from it, it'll tell you how much weight it will hold. Ours is a 115, so it usually holds around 2,500 pounds. Next to it will be a letter, and the letter will be your speed rating. So I'll also put a link down below to a website that will show you what that letter represents. It'll not be another chart. You'll just go down to your chart and go over. So ours is a T. That means it can go up to about 118 miles an hour. Then there will be a DOT somewhere on the tire. That means it complies with all DOT safety standards. So on these specific tires, it has an M and an S on it. That means mud and snow. That does not mean it's actually a snow tire. If it is a snow tire, it will have a peak with a snowflake underneath it. So as we move around the tire, this little section will have words like tread wear, traction, and temperature. So the tread wear will just be a number, as ours says 460. That'll correlate to how fast the tires will wear out. So they're not exact, but they'll be kind of give you a ballpark estimate of how fast your tires will wear out. So next will be traction, and they're really grouped into 4 groups: AA, A, B, and C. So that'll tell you how well it will perform in water, AA being the best and C being the worst. Then lastly will be temperature. This will tell you how well the tire will be able to dissipate heat when you're driving. So that'll be between an A, a B, and a C. A's will be anything over 115 degrees. B's will be about 115 to 110, and C's will be about 85 to 100. Then somewhere on the tire it will actually tell you the max pressure and the max load that the tires will be able to hold. So it'll be the max weight it will be able to hold, and as well as the max PSI you'll be able to put in the tire. Just make sure never to exceed that max PSI. Then lastly, there'll be the plies. This will tell you how many plies are on the sidewalls and on the tread as well. Sometimes there's also a letter that correlates with it. It'll go from a B to C to D to E, all the way I think to L. So it'll usually have a letter there. Like this one, it has an E. That means it's usually a 10 ply, but that technically does not mean it's actually 10 ply tires. It used to actually mean that there was 10 plies on the tire. Nowadays, with their better technology, it's actually more like a 7 or an 8 ply, but it's still considered a 10 ply tire, even though it's not actually 10 ply. It just holds more weight. So if you're going to be looking to put a lot of weight in your vehicle, in your truck, then you suggest usually to go up to at least an E-rated tire. Hope you guys found that handy today. And as always, make sure to click like and subscribe to help me out, and we'll see you next time. Bye.